Let me see here. I'm now live streaming to YouTube. Excellent. Took me a while to figure this out, but I think I got it finally. I like to talk about diabetes on this YouTube channel because I have type 1 diabetes and it's kind of a big part of my life. I also like to start giving maybe tips and ideas to parents of diabetics because I have, my husband and I have become foster parents. Sorry, I'm stirring peanut butter. We've become foster parents, and our one young man that we have, he's 13 years old. Bless you. That was my son. But our 15-year-old, he has type 1 diabetes, and because his family couldn't really figure out how to deal with it, he ended up in the foster care system because he ended up in the hospital in DKA too many times, which is diabetic ketoacidosis. Now, I know a lot of you need an explanation about that. Basically, when your blood sugars run too high for too long, your liver starts spilling, for lack of a better term, like there's technical terms or whatever, but your liver gets too overloaded and starts spilling acid into your body, and it's a poison. It starts poisoning your body. So that's not good. I've been in DKA twice, I think. First when I was diagnosed, and then once when I got bad insulin back in, I think it was the early to mid 90s sometime. So anyways, he's ended up with us. We haven't had any strong issues like that. I have had some strong issues with the American medical system. James, please go away. Yes, our little attempt at humor there. So he's with us now, and he has had better blood sugar control. But the doctors, I understand for people who don't have diabetes that maybe this is helpful to send in the records to the doctors and call the doctors weekly and that kind of stuff. But these doctors really have had an issue with letting Hector take control over his diabetes, which in Canada, I mean, I was diagnosed when I was 19, so I really don't know the exact way that they treat children with diabetes in Canada. But with me, they didn't pussyfoot around me. They didn't say, you need to get your mom to do this and that and the other thing. It was like, you need to check your blood sugar. You need, like, it was, I had to do it, not anybody else. So that's kind of what I've been doing with him, helping him to take control over his diabetes, if you will. I know it's kind of a oxymoron saying that because you can't really control it. James, this is the last time. So he's gotten better control because I've been educating him on how to look after it himself. And that's what I feel that parents need to do with their children here in America. Yes, have the doctor as a backup, but don't depend on the doctor. Because, you know what? I know more about my diabetes, about how it works in my body and what I need, than any doctor's going to know. And that's something my first doctor told me, Dr. Brown. He was also a diabetic. And he told me that I would know more about my diabetes than the doctors would at some point in my life. At the time, I didn't believe him because I was 19 and I was obstinate and, you know. But now I understand. I'm like, oh, okay, I do understand more. The first doctor visit we went on, they were freaking out over how much insulin he was taking. And one of the nurses made the comment of, well, the average youth at his height and his weight only takes this much insulin, and he takes this much. And that's not right. And I had to stop her there. I said, look, I said, he's a human being. Every human being is different. So this is what's working in his body. You take the average, and that's where you start. And you either go up or down from there. It's not the average is what everybody should be. It's kind of like that whole APGAR score. No, not the APGAR score. Maybe it is APGAR. I don't know. It's the one that they do the height and weight on your kid, and they figure out where they are and whether they're average or above average or below average. James, go sit down. That kind of thing. Like, just because you get a higher score on that doesn't mean that your child is unhealthy or wrong or something like that. It just means that maybe they're taller, maybe they are heftier, maybe they're thinner, maybe they're shorter. There have to be all those different variables in order to get an average. So, I'm just saying. So, parents, learn from the doctors, but don't let the doctors control it for you. Do your best to control it with your child and learn with your child. Take blood sugars. You know what the goal is, what the aim is. If it's low, treat it. If it's high, treat it. Don't freak out over the highs. Don't. It will just stress out the child, and stress makes it go higher a lot of the time. So just watch their blood sugars with them. I will talk to y'all later because apparently I have to go manage my child because he seems to think it's his turn to be on the camera.
Fix the thing.
But now I need to figure out how to stop this thing from recording.
I'm trying to fix my thing.
How do I stop this? Sources. You would think it would be somewhere easy, but